Good morning, traders. It is Friday, and depending on your perspective, either it's TGIF or it isn't. There was a time where I hated Fridays because that meant I couldn't trade for a couple days. Now I sort of look forward to it, I have to admit. Get some mental rest from staring at these screens for 5 days in a row. Anyway, we are not off to a good start. I think I took an ill-advised trade. You can see right up in here. My thought was we had a nice pullback. A nice little bearish run here, and then a pullback into the 21 EMA. I took a short, a tick below this bar here. I put my stop a tick above it, and got taken out. And this is a lesson that I've learned, is to take your stops, because no matter how much you thought this was going to reverse, maybe you thought it was going to reverse off of the 105 EMA, maybe you thought it was just never going to penetrate these EMAs and reverse for you. It didn't. Look at that. So that would have been a massive loss for me. That would have been, well, depending. There were times where I would have ridden this thing all the way here. This is like 9 points. That's $450. And instead it was, I had it on a couple accounts. Let me see here. Oh, I keep doing that. Sorry. The total loss on 3 accounts, one of them I was trading micros, was $140. So not the end of the world, considering it was 3 accounts. It was about $65 on each account, on 2 accounts, and then like $7 on another account. So, but it did, unfortunately, it may have set the mood for today. There was not a lot of movement overnight. I mean, the ATR is still at like 1.45. So, when I just opened up my screens at 7, I thought this was going to be a disaster of a day. Choppy. And we had a nice pullback, which, maybe you could have done something like this. Waited for that break. Maybe a little like that. Put that in there. Wait for a break of this line. And then wrote it down, maybe. Don't know how I feel about that from a reliability point of view, and you had a couple of places where maybe you could have considered it. Excuse me. But I didn't take these. I waited for this one where it rocketed right against me. But again, we minimized our. It's taking a stop like this and watching it go up that makes you feel good that you take those stops, because so often you'll put a stop in there and it will take you out just in time to go in exactly the direction that you thought it was going to. But this is the problem. This will wreck your account. Missing out on a trade won't wreck an account. Riding a loser into the ground will wreck accounts. Will completely blow them up. And you can see that there were times where in my trading career where I would have been adding to this, assuming, okay, now it's going to reverse. Because we had a pretty nice, we had 2 legs. And there were 2 legs to a new low. So I guess, well, did it? No, it's actually never made a new low from overnight. So those 2 legs, I think it was a reasonable assumption that we could have bounced off of this 21. And the market's open. By the way, I'm sorry I started a little bit late. I got involved configuring something on my OBS. That's the software I use for streaming, and realized I was getting very close to the start time, and I had to undo what I had done. You'll notice I did add a real-time clock to the screen, so you can gauge as how much of a delay there is between me and you. you and I. Uh, if you have anything more than, say, maybe 5 seconds, I would go to 2x speed mode until it catches up and see then how close you've gotten. Because I do have this set to the absolute minimum latency. So at least at my end, I am not causing any extra delay. Everything else would be either due to YouTube or just the internet in general, lag between all the routers and switches and whatnot. All right, so after the bell, we have a nice drawdown. I don't know what caused that. I have no indication on my chart as to why it would have done that. Maybe this area here on the 5 minute of supply. Maybe it tapped into that and then reversed, similar to what it did here. Possibly. We'll watch this thing for about 10 minutes, and I hope we get better price action than we did in the pre-market. But if we don't take a trade, we don't take a trade. Another lesson I've learned is you don't need to trade. And that's probably a lesson I could have used on this trade earlier this morning is pre-market, you don't need to trade. But it looked like a decent setup, and I was eager to take a trade, and it cost me $140 or whatever the heck I said it was. I hope your trading went well after the stream yesterday. Some people don't like to trade on Fridays, but I think a lot of times people just they'll have had a bad experience on a particular day, and then they'll decide, oh, I don't like to trade on Mondays. I don't like to trade on Fridays. I don't really know that there's any rule for that. I think there is some minor news at 10 o'clock Eastern. We should keep our eye on that. But right now, we will just kind of watch and see what happens. And since I started the day with a loss, I think I am going to be very cautious. I don't want to amplify that loss by taking another bad trade. So we will wait our customary 10 minutes or so to get started here. We watch, let the market settle down a bit, decide which direction it wants to go, and then we will to jump in. While we wait for that, I am going to take a quick break to get a cup of coffee. I will be back in a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. What happened? All right, well, so we're working our way down here, so maybe we will get an opportunity somewhere along the line for a pullback. This doesn't look too bad, although still a little early in the morning, a little early in the trading day for me to take a trade, but we're having a nice series of lower highs here. So if we can get a nice orderly pullback into the 9 or the 21 EMA, we might go ahead and try to take that for a scalp. A lot of wicks on both sides of these bars right now. I'm interested in this trade here, but I'm a little worried about it. Because of all these wicks, it didn't seem like a nice orderly pullback. The low of this is 1675, so 1650 would be our trade. We'd be hoping to take it all the way down to the bottom. Let's see if this trade closes properly. See if we get anything that indicates some bearishness from this bar here. The low of that bar, 1775, so 1750 would be our trade. We'll go ahead and take it and see what happens. It's a reasonable setup, not ideal. We have a lot of wicks at the bottom there. We might not take it for 5 points, but we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, it's not a lot of bearish momentum there. That's a very bullish bar that formed here. But it may just be going up to visit the 21 EMA. Not loving the way that's shaping up. Interestingly, this is where I got burned this morning, right at this area, same area, right around 39.20. Low 39.20. All right, I'm in this trade for better or for worse. Let's see what happens here. It would be shitty if I got burned in the exact same spot as I did earlier this morning, and that's exactly what's happening here. Son of a gun. Look at that. I mean, it is almost exactly the same trade. Can you believe this? Look at that's where the morning trade was. Yep, and the exact same thing is happening. So, we have not having a good day here. This is, take a quick look here. We are down about $465 on the day right now over 2 accounts. So, split that approximately in half. All right, so let's just take a breath and calm down and see how this plays out. Let's put some lines up here and see how that goes. This could easily be our first red day since I started streaming. The trick here for me is not to go into meltdown and just take trades to try to recover. And I think a good rule of thumb is maybe 3 losing trades. So if we lose another one, we'll stop trading for the day, I think. Seems like the 21 EMA may be holding to the upside. We'll watch it. A break below this could be a possible trade. Granted, not a super high probability trade, but it might be something to consider. But in the meantime, it's holding pretty well. I think in general we probably do have a negative bias here. Got to keep my eye out. There's some minor news that comes out at top of the hour, 10 o'clock Eastern. Probably don't want to be in a trade during that, even though it is not supposedly high impact news. I'm thinking if we break below this, we're probably heading down. But right now we're just kind of chopping right in this area. And all the EMAs are starting to bunch up in the middle here. This dashed amber line is the overnight open at 6 p.m. Eastern yesterday evening. It's hit that a couple times and rejected it. We'll see if it can burst through this time. Try to take a look at the bigger picture here. There was some supply here. That looks like it might be working against on the 5-minute. This area right here may give us some resistance. I'm going to try a short here, and hopefully it'll break through. I probably should have waited to the bottom of this bar. This, unfortunately, has to be up here. And let's keep an eye on it. Let's see if we break to the downside here. Do have a trend line here that's holding, and we broke through this short-term trend line here, so we'll see if we can get lucky. If this one stops out, I think I'm going to call it a day. Yeah, it's looking like it wants to screw me. Yeah, I am not seeing this market today, that's for sure. Yeah, I thought it was going to break. I should have waited to the bottom of this bar, I suppose. Either way, it looks like a bad trade. Hopefully it'll just chop around here and work its way down before it stops us out. But I'm not optimistic at the moment. It's been a long time since I've had 3 trades in a row go against me like this. Damn. All right, well, I think that's it for me trading. I'll stick with the stream for a little while, but we are down quite a bit. Let's see. Wow, 9:45 for the day, so we're definitely gonna, now that's across 2 accounts, but still, I am going to stop trading. But we'll continue with some analysis and see what this day looks like. So let's see what I overlooked here. Now this trend line is working its way up, perhaps. Something like that. Let's use our trend lines here. You know what's going to happen if I keep streaming is I am going to take another trade and try to get this get this money back, but hopefully I'll be able to resist. So completely misjudged this, but really thought we were more in a downtrend. Where we started was something like that is what I was looking at, and thought we were bouncing at the top of this trend. But this tighter trend is what actually is happening. This could be trying to trap some shorts. Pull them back to the 21 and then just load the boat up here with these shorts and then take it up, possibly. Who knows? Looks like we're still going down. Does feel like it's trying to lure shorts in here. If this trend line is at all accurate, this breakout should fail and work its way up to a new high again. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a higher low. Bar's going to close in 5 seconds, so this is a higher low here. The way this came down, I thought it was actually going to rocket back up pretty fast after it trapped a bunch of shorts here, but didn't move as fast as I thought it might.